Hey y'all, it's Diddy. Yo, back in October 1997, one of the most monumental moments in hip hop was supposed to happen. The Firm the album dropped. But, in Dr. Dre's words,
on the firm flop.
How could that happen? It had Nas, Foxy Brown, AZ, Nature. Cormega was supposed to be in the group. We had some features in there from Cannabis, from Noriega, from Half a Mil. What went wrong? We're gonna talk about that, but most importantly, we're gonna fix it and turn it into something super viable and super dope. Let's get to it. First of all, man, let's talk about some of the things that's on the album, man. First of all, there's technically only 13 songs on the whole joint. Nas is on 5, we got AZ on 6, Foxy Brown's on 5, Nature's on 6, Dr. Dre produced 6, Trap Masters produced 6, and then LES produced 1. There's not many records that have all of the members of the Firm on them. Aside from the intro, it's pretty much sporadic throughout the whole project. As we stated in the intro, Cormega was supposed to be in the group, but something apparently happened between him and Nas. Not 100% sure on the details, and last minute, he was actually replaced by Nature. And you can see that this was hasty because when you look at the album cover, it just says, and Nature, and this picture is also smaller, so it felt like a last minute decision. But how did the album fare? You had Dr. Dre, who had just left Death Row. You had Track Masters, Tone and Poke, who was just blowing up the scene, had produced a lot of Nas's records, a lot of Foxy Brown's records. Will Smith. How did the album turn out? Wasn't a favorite amongst fans, that's for sure. But we're gonna make this better, man. First thing first, let's go over this original track list, man. Take a look. So here we go. The first thing you may notice is there's actually a lot of skits, man. Like I said, it's only like 13 tracks, for real, for real. Y'all know what we do with skits around here. Some of them will actually stay in the long run, but as far as this album goes, man, they kind of went with a mafioso tone. Foxy Brown was working on her album and Nas was kind of working on something at the same time. AZ was working on his debut album and Nature was kind of looked at as a new artist. So they didn't seem to come together as a cohesive to make this album. I guess they felt they could get away with a couple of things here and there. I said Nas is on 5 records, but he's actually on a little bit more because he does a couple of the hooks. But we're pretty much ignoring the hooks that he did and contributed to the album and only talking about the verses. This track list right here, there's some cool aspects to it, man. I love the fact that Track Masters got some really dope mafioso beats on here, but they actually contributed to some of the garbage on this album. And Dr. Dre, for the most part, man, he held up his end of the bargain. From my understanding, the whole project was supposed to be produced by Dr. Dre, but the relationship that had been built with Tone and Poke on Nas's It Was Written album, Nas wanted to include Tone and Poke on the project. Like I said, they contributed some fire. All right, first things first, here's the songs we cut. Firm Family featuring Dr. Dre, Nature and Dr. Dre. This is actually a pretty good record, but at the same time, it just don't fit, man. This is the Firm. We're supposed to get all the members. It's not supposed to just be feeling like a Nature project, which it felt like at times because it feels like Nature takes the lead on a lot of these records. But this is the cool record, Accident. Firm All Stars featuring Gavin, Pretty Boy, who was Foxy Brown's brother. This song is getting cut. This is probably one of my least favorite records on the project. Throw Your Guns is another one of them joints that I just thought was weak in the context of this project. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is the Firm. Foxy, AZ, Cormega, Nature, Nas. Supposed to be fire. That song is not good. Untouchable featuring The Wizard. This is actually really dope, and it would have been dope if they could have just took this beat and rapped over it. Somebody else, not necessarily The Wizard. This is dope. Hardcore, super weak. I love the sample, but I don't love it for this project. There's a lot of people that have used this sample and used it actually pretty well, but this isn't one of the ones. The Lox used it. I would actually go out on a limb to say that on the Money Power Respect album, the Lox used a sample a little bit better than the Firm did. And Firm Biz, it's not a horrible record. It just felt like a commercial sellout record. And you know how fans feel about that, man. Like the real hip hop fans, they ain't really messing with that. So Firm Biz is gone. So with all of that out of the way, we're only adding one track. Let's go over it. The Affirmative Action remix. And the reason why I'm not pulling the regular Affirmative Action is because regular Affirmative Action was on It Was Written and it fits right there. But the remix is on nothing. It was just released. It's got a dope beat. All the guys and girls in here killed it. So we're gonna actually put this on the whole context of the album. Now, normally I have a rule set, right? That I can only pull from songs that are currently out around the time of this. But With this project, there's not much I could pull from because projects came out, the songs feel right on the projects, they sound right, they cohesively ride with the projects. What I had to do, y'all, I had to do what wrestling fans would call fantasy booking. So stick with me and let's talk about the new track list for The Firm, because this makes it dope. First off, we're still started off with The Firm Fiasco. I love the fact that they have it start off the way it starts off, kind of get a little storytelling in there, all of that, dope verses from everybody. In my fantasy booking world, we're adding Cormega back on most of these records. So if I say The Firm, I mean everybody, including Cormega. Phone Tap is gonna follow it. The interlude for Phone Tap actually fits, but we're gonna slap the intro. Any interludes we're keeping, we're slapping at the end of the song prior to. So Phone Tap is staying. I really wish that there was a way to incorporate nature a little bit more in the song. It just felt like they just kind of like mushed them in there. Shout out to Phone Tap. Now we get to our first fantasy book record, man, and been there, done that. The beat that Dr. Dre produced, the song that Dr. Dre did after he left Death Row. It didn't have the type of success that Dr. Dre was looking for. So what I'm suggesting is you should have kept it, given it to The Firm, and let The Firm actually do what they do on this track. I think it would have actually been absolutely incredible if you got The Firm on the Been There and Done That beat. Just listen to that beat in your head and just think about Nas and AZ and Fox and Cormega blessing that record. That would have been dope.
We got 20 minutes.
We're gonna take Executive Decision and we're gonna slap it right here. Some of the stuff actually flowed pretty well. But Executive Decision is actually good. Untouchable, right after Executive Decision. It's a fire record, but what we're doing is we're just making a new version of it. We adding the whole Firm to the song. That's gonna make it much, much better. We get another change up with Fuck Somebody Else. This is Foxy Brown, produced by Dr. Dre. I'm not really sure who the young lady is singing the hook, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna put Missy Misdemeanor Elliott on this record right here. This is right when Missy is bubbling. She's starting to get ready to kill the scene, but she's already popped up on stuff from MC Lyte and, made her mark. So Missy Elliott on this, and what we're gonna do is if you go to the Aftermath project that Dr. Dre released after he left Death Row, there's a song called Sexy Dance. Listen to that beat and think about Fuck Somebody Else on that beat. I think that's gonna make the song that much better.
There's no fussing, no wishing.
That album didn't have the impact that Dr. Dre had, so this ain't gonna be the only time we pull from it. Mentioned that I didn't like hardcore, but we're gonna add it back right here, but this time we're gonna actually get Stevie J to produce it. Y'all know Stevie J, he's one of Puff Daddy's hitman. He had did Notorious Thugs, Breakdown for Mariah Carey. He's done some of the dopest Biggie joints from Life After Death and Bad Boy stuff from Mace and everybody like that. So I think it's only appropriate to get Stevie J to work with Nas and produce something really dope for The Firm. So that's what we're gonna do with hardcore. Leave the verses the same, Stevie J producing it. 5 Minutes to Flush. This was a dope record right out the jump. Love the sample, love the storytelling, man. But what I think will make this song actually much better is, since we're gonna have the intro at the end of the last record, we're gonna have Foxy Brown take the role of the woman and rap from her perspective as well. So we still keep Nature talking about what he's talking about, but maybe we give Foxy Brown a verse in there, and then maybe Nature and Foxy Brown going back and forth about keeping their composure and stuff like that. And I think that will make that song chef's kiss. Desperado is already dope, man. Love that instrumental, love the beat. AZ cursing the person out on the phone. I mean, sure, we can keep that. But the only difference with this version of it, we actually gonna add Nas and we're gonna add Foxy Brown to it, which pretty much technically makes it a Firm song from that point. That makes the song absolutely incredible. Next up, Firm Biz. Putting it back, but this time we actually got a change to it. We actually gonna get Ski. Now, if you don't know who Ski is, Ski actually produced some of Jay-Z's most amazing records on his Reasonable Doubt album. If you know Feeling It, if you know Dead Presidents, if you know Politics as Usual, you know Ski. And Ski was one of the dopest producers at the time. I think if Nas could have reached out to him with all the strengths he had, they could have got together and put together a really dope beat for this Firm Biz. You might even be able to use the same sample and let Ski just flip it in some way, shape, or form, but I think Ski would have been the perfect producer for this song. I'm Leaving, man. I love this record, man. Nori and Nature going back and forth, they absolutely killed it, but we're adding the rest of the Firm to this song. Somehow we can have 6-way tag, just everybody kind of just flipping in, exchanging like maybe 2-3 bars here and there, and that's gonna make that song much better. The song's already absolutely incredible. The Firm with Noriega on the song, there we go. And then we're gonna end it with 2 completely made up out of the blue songs, man. We got one untitled song by Nas and AZ, and we're gonna have this one produced by L.E.S. Y'all should know L.E.S. if y'all know Nas records, man. He's produced some of the dopest stuff. One of my favorite beats from him is Uchiwali, but he's produced some stuff for Nas way prior to that. Nas and AZ going back and forth on the L.E.S. beat, that would be Chef's Kiss. And then to end the album, I think what we do is go with Jay Dilla. We'd actually get Jay Dilla to produce a joint by The Firm. Jay Dilla was one of the most prolific producers ever. Like, he's just absolutely incredible. And I think if we could have heard Nas and Jay Dilla with the rest of The Firm on a record, that would have just made everybody's day. I think it could have been a great moment for hip hop and everybody involved, for the fans, for the groups. That would have been a dope moment. So that's The Firm. They said it flopped, but I bet you if it would have came out like this joint would have been absolutely incredible. Let me know how you guys feel about how I reorganized the Firm album. I know, like I said, I fantasy booked it. If y'all want a fantasy book too, throw some comments down below. Tell me what y'all guys would have liked to see, who you guys would have liked to see team up on records. Definitely would love to read it. I'll be interacting with you guys in the comments, man. After this, we got some more roses to give out. We got more albums to fix. Got to get back to work. So thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Peace.